And this is Greenville, North Carolina, as we approach Veterans Weekend. We're painting it black tonight in Greenville as the East Carolina Pirates meet the Florida Atlantic Owls. It's on ESPN2 tonight. That's Matt Stinchcomb, the College Football Hall of Famer. I'm Taylor Sarzer. Alyssa Lang's on the field. You'll see her in just a minute. There's only one program in the FBS that has changed coaches so far this season. It's East Carolina, dismissing Mike Houston a few weeks ago. They replaced him with interim coach Blake Harrell, and they went out in their first game against Temple, the Pirates did, and put up 56 points.
Far and away the best offensive performance all season long for East Carolina, and you wonder, will they be able to maintain that momentum? Sometimes a shock to the system, like the removal of a head coach, you can get a little bit of energy, see if they can build on that here tonight versus Florida Atlantic.
And they also have a new quarterback, Caden Hauser, playing now in his third game tonight. Made his second start against Temple. He threw 5 touchdown passes.
You know, another significant change, just as you mentioned, second start, Jake Garcia, too many turnovers. Last time out, Caden Hauser was able to move the football around. 5 different receivers on the end of those 5 touchdown throws. Still turnovers plaguing the offense, but they were able to push the ball downfield. That's been the issue all season long. An offense that can move the ball, can they score with the ball?
And on the other side, one of the best names in the game tries to stop the Pirates. Linebacker for FAU, Jackson Ambush.
You know, a team right now in the secondary kind of missing some bodies. The Owls tonight need to make sure that they don't allow the ground game to get going. It will start with Jackson Ambush, the middle of that defense. Not only is he active on the field, but he is the heart and soul of that side of the football for Florida Atlantic. The Owls defense needs a big night from Jackson Ambush.
Here come the East Carolina Pirates. Alyssa Lang is on the field to tell us more about ECU as they paint it purple tonight. ESPN's Thursday Night College Football is brought to you by USAA. Let's honor those who served this Veterans Day. The Pirates will get the football first tonight, and for more on East Carolina, we go down to the field and Alyssa Lang.
Taylor, it's been 12 days since ECU took the football field in a big win against Temple amidst a lot of change, leading to defensive coordinator Blake Harrell taking over as interim head coach. When it comes to that double-digit win against Temple, there were a few things that changed. Playing loose, re-energized football, a 29-point third quarter and 3 second-half interceptions certainly helped as well. Coach Harrell told me before this game, the same blueprint and that renewed sense of energy will be what they need to use tonight to be successful against what he called a talented, speedy FAU football team.
Coached by Tom Herman, Alyssa, in his second year as head coach of the Owls. His team won the toss but deferred to the Pirates, who will get the football first. One of the best environments you'll find in the group of 5 always has been here in Greenville. Carter Davis will kick it for Florida Atlantic. Winston Wright is standing a yard deep in his end zone. And it goes over his head, and East Carolina will start at the 25-yard line. Matt, we were talking about Caden Hauser, the transfer from Michigan State, and the great performance that he put up last week after relieving Jake Garcia, who threw 12 interceptions in his first 6 games of the season. If Hauser can keep possession of the football, East Carolina can beat anybody.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, it's an offense that has been able to move the football. The problem has been the giveaways, even 2 interceptions last time out versus Temple.
And on the first play, a little razzle-dazzle, and out of the backfield it goes, and it's caught by Tyler Savage, the tight end. Savage, the senior from Virginia, marches down the field for a gain of 23.
Early on, a lot of eye candy. See, direct snap to Rajay Harris. He ends up pushing the ball downfield.
Took a look at our Home Depot impact players there in the first play. And now the second play, it's a shot. Jake Sowell, touchdown, Pirates. Two plays, 75 yards. Chase had 5 catches in this game last year. He had a 45-yard touchdown catch last week, a 50-yarder on the second play of the game. Andrew Conrad's extra point is good. 24 seconds in, Pirates have 7 points.
As we mentioned, underhanded secondary, just a go ball on the outside. It's beaten right off of the line almost immediately to Day Hill. Hauser knows exactly where he wants to go with the football. Safety help late getting over there. A great job by Sal, just gets behind the coverage almost immediately. You could see it last week versus South Florida, a secondary that had a hard time keeping the offense in front of them. 23 out of the 28 scoring drives for ECU this season have been under 3 minutes. That one is going to bring the average way down. 2 plays in.
Well, this man, Blake Carroll, said, if anything, we're going to play free in these last 4 games of the season. Who knows what the future holds for the coaching staff, for the players, given that Mike Houston was relieved of his duty a few weeks ago. All these people are on the field, on the sideline, and that are playing are in audition mode these days. And FAU will get it at the 25-yard line. It's Cam Fancher in the middle of your screen, the quarterback for Florida Atlantic, junior from Huber Heights, Ohio, who was in this stadium last year playing for the Marshall Thundering Herd. We're seeing a lot of that these days, Stench, in college football. Guys playing as visitors in the same stadium 2 consecutive years for 2 different programs.
Yeah, kind of wild. New college football. This entire Owls football team, they just played a game, 6 days ago. They played last Friday. Quick turn for the Owls tonight.
C.J. Campbell, see a lot of him tonight. The tailback gets a couple of yards. Campbell will have to carry the load tonight because FAU is without Zuberi Mobley, their other tailback. So expect to see a lot of Campbell in this game. Andrew Wilson-Lamp on the tackle there. Fancher, 26 touchdown passes in 33 games for FAU, but also 23 interceptions. On 2nd and 8, Fancher throws short, caught by Jabari Smith, and Smith gets up the field just shy of a first down. Let's take a look at our impact players built by the Home Depot.
Well, we've already seen explosive play by the ECU offense, and Federico Moranes, he is right there in the middle, the center of the FAU offense, quite literally. He runs all the protections on behalf of Fancher, and of course, Sakai Barker was the one that got the pressure on Fancher on that previous throw.
On 3rd and 1, the Pirates show pressure. Campbell gets close, but he's marked short. Got about a foot. It'll be 4th down. Here's Tom Herman, the head coach at FAU. And he's sending the punting team out on the field. See the record at FAU. He knew he was going to have to start this program over, moving from Conference USA to the American Athletic Conference. It has been a challenge through a year and a half.
And Tom Herman mentioned, he thought, felt like we would be better this year. They've let some games slip away. He said the big key tonight is belief. He has a team that needs to have stronger confidence.
Logan Lupo will punt for his Owls. Winston Wright is standing at his 20, but there are flags on the field.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, it's still 4th down.
It's Tim Rich, tonight's referee. Yeah, Herman, of course, did such a terrific job for Houston as the head coach of the Cougars there for 2 years. Went to Texas, where he's in the top 10 one year in 2018, won 32 games. Then after being dismissed by Texas, went to the NFL, got into this part of the football world and broadcasting, and quickly hurried back down to the field after that experience. Got enough of doing play-by-play and analysis. Lupo almost got that punt blocked. Somehow it got through there, and this is Wright. And he's down at the 22-yard line.
I'm shocked that a flag didn't come out. I'm also shocked this punt did not get blocked. And right into the kicker.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Greenville, North Carolina. Pirates have always had a proud program here on the eastern side of this great state. Let's take a look at our impact players built by the Home Depot.
Well, we'll see how much we get out of Rajay Harris. Coming out offensively, incredibly aggressive for the ECU Pirates, and C.J. Hurd at his safety spot. That back end, kind of a retooled back end for the Owls. Should have a busy night.
Rajay Harris, first carry of the game. Harris, the graduate player from Duncan, South Carolina, is close to 2,500 in his career at ECU. This is 46th game as a 5-year player here for the Pirates.
An unbalanced look here for ECU. You see the left side of the offensive front on the right side.
He picked up 8 on first down and gets the necessary yardage for the first. 22 career touchdowns, also has 56 catches. Does everything out of the backfield for offensive coordinator John David Baker.
A busy guy in this offense, a key component to it as well. Last thing FAU wants is for ECU to get the ground game going. Open up that game with a direct snap to Harris. He gets the assist. Flipped it to Hauser on his first completion before the big shot downfield to Sowell to get in the end zone.
Play clock under 3 now as Hauser snaps it. And an option toss to Harris. Gets the corner of the first down and gets past midfield.
We were talking to the coaches and asking, what do they have? You have a quick pitch in the offense. FAU can play very heavy in those B gaps inside the tackles. Easy to get the ball out on the perimeter if you've got that quick pitch in the offense.
Good job there by making that pitch at the last second by Hauser. Now in his 3rd game as the starting quarterback for East Carolina. Lost the job in August in what was a very competitive contest to Jake Garcia. Hauser's got time to throw here, and it's a wide open ball for another touchdown. Winston Wright. Florida Atlantic is down several starters in the secondary, and it has shown in these first couple of drives.
Well, Winston Wright last week came up with a touchdown as well. 4 catches. This time with a big one. 47-yarder to the house. How about ECU? We said they were playing loose. Man, they just cut loose in the passing game versus this underman. You see slipping there in the secondary. It looked like it was Day Hill once again. And they short motioned. So they brought Winston Wright, short motion, that crosses all the way the opposite side of the field. And Caden Hauser, again, he's got a little shake to him. They came out cooking, man. Hot soup, watch your lips. ECU Pirates were not messing around when they got off the bus tonight.
Right now with 5 touchdown catches on the season, and Blake Carroll wants this job. Only his 2nd game as the interim head coach. He's been here for years as a defensive coordinator for Mike Houston, but would love to become the permanent head coach of the Pirates. Guiding them to a victory 12 days ago against Temple, looking to get above 500 on the season with a victory tonight. This season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate.
Taylor, so much pressure now on FAU's offense already. We mentioned, ECU's a rested football team, despite some of the disruption coming out of the bye week and then playing a Thursday night game. The Owls on this quick turnaround and trying to find their footing early on, already taking a few haymakers to the face in this game.
Fancher throws, and it's a good ball to Omari Hayes, who turns upfield and is past the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 21.
Like that. Move the pocket. Get Fancher on the move a little bit. Half field read. Give it to one of your better playmakers in Omari Hayes.
Hayes was targeted 13 times last week by Fancher. Fancher's looking downfield and throws underneath, caught by Campbell out of the backfield. 23rd catch for CJ on the season, who not only has been a terrific running back for the Owls this year, but also a pass catcher and the best blocking back. Does it all back there for this FAU offense.
You can see play caller Charlie Fry saying, look, we got to loosen this defense up a little bit. Very difficult defensive front to run on.
After Campbell caught one for 7, he runs one for 2. It'll be 3rd and 1 for FAU. The ECU 46, Lampley there on the tackle for this Pirates team that is in the middle of the American Athletic Coast Conference standings so far this year. And you think of it, Army, the only undefeated team left, not only in the American, but also in the group of 5.
Last time FAU tried the middle of the ECU defense and was denied on a 3rd and short.
And on the 3rd and 1, out of the backfield, it's dropped. That was Jabari Smith who had the first down. It'll be 4th and 1.
And Jabari Smith's just got to make this catch for his quarterback. You see him, they brought him in motion. He was lined up off the hip of the right tackle on the right side of the formation. You get the entire defense leaning that way. Tom Herman saying, okay, maybe I take a swing right here on 4th down.
FAU is 10 of 22 on 4th down. Have to allow ECU to rotate players in, but there's only a few seconds left on the play clock.
First time out of the half. Florida Atlantic, full time out of the field.
Back to see what Coach Herman's team does in just a moment. This is Veterans Week on ESPN, presented by USAA. Greenville, North Carolina tonight for a little Thursday night American Athletic Conference football. Tom Herman, the head coach at FAU, so much success as the national championship coordinator for the Buckeyes 10 years ago that led to a head coaching job at Houston for 2 years where he won 22 games. Everybody wanted him. He went to Texas, won 32 games there, and was in the top 10, but evidently not good enough. And now he's at FAU, and his team has a 4th and 1 at the Pirates' 46-yard line. Going for it here, Cam Fancher in shotgun with CJ Campbell behind him. That's not what you want.
Flag on the play.
Ball starts. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Just incredible for something like that to happen in that scenario, coming out of a timeout. And you can see, obviously, ECU was going to shift along their defensive front. They weren't going to allow. The entire left side of the formation was unoccupied. And you knew they were probably going to shift to that bare defense where both guard and center are covered. They did, and they got, looked like it was Wyatt Sullivan to flinch there on the edge.
Lupo punting for the 2nd time. And Wright lets this go out of bounds. There is a flag down on the field.
Ball goes out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Flag on the play.
And while they sort this out, Taylor, you think, FAU.
Just looking to see if Luke Holmes, I believe, is the player that made contact for East Carolina with Logan Lupo, the punter.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 38. 5-yard penalty enforced in the previous spot. It's 4th down.
So now we're right back to where we were, right?
Yeah.
It's 4th and 1 instead of 4th and 6. Does Herman bring the offense back?
And they're saying, they could have thought, you thought about it earlier, Lupo was lobbying for a penalty on his earlier punt, got it this time.
Lupo banged up on the play, and they do bring Cam Fancher in the offense back onto the field. The exact spot they were going to attempt this 4th and 1 before the offense committed a penalty. The hand to Campbell, cuts it in and gets the first. He didn't have the corner, he made a change in which way he was running, and it worked out.
Well, Zakai Barker, he got there first. He got to the edge before Campbell and turned him back inside. Campbell makes a nice cut. He needed less than a yard. You're right, though. He kind of had to bubble his run. Couldn't run downhill towards the line of scrimmage. That's a fortunate turn of events, because you think FAU invested a timeout before that procedure penalty, and then, of course, they're running into the kicker to get it to 4th and short again.
An alternate route for 10 yards and a first down. Fancher gets out of there and will take off to the ECU bench. Good athleticism by the big junior quarterback.
Well, really, most of the season, Fancher has been more of a runner, or a run threat anyway. The challenge has been, higher percentage throws, getting the passing game into rhythm. He's right at 50% completion percentage, less than 60. Was just at 52% last time out versus USF. It's his legs that get the attention of defensive coordinators when they face the Owls.
And the attention of Elijah Morris, who just about had him wrapped up in the backfield. Speaking of the backfield, C.J. Campbell is tackled for a loss. Sarad Ware.
We talked about this defensive front, and they are salty. You see Ware just beats the backside cutoff block. You got to get him down on the ground if you're going to try to cut. They're trying to get that ball to the outside, wide zone, get it out on the perimeter. In the backside, defensive tackle makes your play, and a negative yardage one at that.
Sarad, the big senior from Richmond, Virginia, one of 3 Pirates in the backfield to cause that 4-yard loss. Fancher, pressure, down he goes. Back behind the 40. Zakai Barker.
Well, Taylor, when we were talking with Blake Harrell yesterday, we were asking, the best way do you get pressure, and they like to cover up the interior offensive lineman. Zakai Barker just comes right up the middle. Watch him. He works the block right in the line of scrimmage and then gets the finish. Cam Fancher last week took 7 sacks. 7 for a mobile quarterback. That just shows how often he's under duress in obvious passing downs. The negative yardage tackle for loss is what set up that opportunity for ECU to get the stop.
And FAU's taken 27 sacks, Stinch, on the season. So after all that, Lupo has to punt, and he punts it into the end zone. And East Carolina will get it at their own 20-yard line. Barker, the leader of the defense, gives it back to the high-powered offense in Greenville.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like, Cloud 9, 2 words, Cloud 9. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken, and it's got pickled jalapenos, and it's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
Real customers paid for their testimonials. 4 iconic programs tip off the season with fresh faces and renewed hope. First is the Jayhawks and the Spartans.
They've got talent from the front of the roster to the back.
Then the Blue Devils take on the Wildcats.
In the bluest of blue bloods, this is going to be a battle.
The State Farm Champions Classic, Kansas-Michigan State at 6:30, then Kentucky-Duke, Tuesday on ESPN.
Saturday, SEC on ABC. College football at noon. Florida takes on number 5 Texas in Austin at 3:30. It's number 3 Georgia at number 16 Ole Miss, and it's 7:30 in Death Valley. Number 15 LSU hosts number 11 Alabama. All streaming on ESPN+. You think that bottom game at Tiger Stadium is a college football playoff elimination game?
I do. I don't know how you could come out with 3 losses and still wiggle your way into the playoff. I think there are too many other teams, especially across the country, with 1 loss, a couple undefeated, still floating around out there. It'd be too crowded of a field.
And that's Montgomery, London Montgomery, who gets the carry, the freshman from Scranton, for a few yards. How many of those SEC road teams come out with a victory on Saturday?
I think Georgia has a really good chance on the road at Vaught Hemingway.
Hauser escapes and gets near a first down. You give them the best chance more than Alabama or Florida in those games Saturday?
I think so. Yeah, I think I do like that. I think I like their chances better. Well, Alabama kind of got a false positive maybe versus a Brady Cookless Missouri last time out at home.
Of course, the college football playoff rankings just came out this past Tuesday night. Down the field shot, incomplete. A lot of hand fighting over there with Anthony Smith and Bugs Brown, but nothing called. There are a couple of group of 5 teams that are in the rankings. Boise State's number 12 already. If they run the table, they may not necessarily be the 12 seed as just about everybody thought the group of 5 team would be in this first year of the 12-team playoff.
A chance to win their conference championship. Could they end up being one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions?
On a sweep, it's Jari Patterson getting the edge into FAU territory.
How about that? So you can't get an explosive in the passing game yet. So you end up getting a 30-yarder on an end around to Jari Patterson. And ECU is quick over the ball.
30 yards, and then quickly they throw it to Patterson here, and he gets down to the 35-yard line.
I was just going to say, Taylor, you know, you don't get points if you're FAU out of that previous drive, but you were able to flip the field and a chance to maybe get a stop, and instead, on 3rd down, you just don't have a forced defender on that side of the field and an explosive.
30 for Patterson, then 5, and then a burst out of the backfield by Montgomery, and he's in the red zone inside the 20.
Just a massive hole. Look at this hole. I mean, just, hey, son, line up on the hash mark and run straight down the field.
Look how quickly the Pirates are going, and Montgomery almost found the end zone, tripped up there near the 10-yard line. East Carolina, in their first 4 games, were just 9 of 16 in the red zone, 7 empty trips. They are 13 consecutive red zone possessions with scores, looking for 14 in a row here before this 2nd and 1.
Back-to-back runs, just dividing the FAU defensive front. Massive holes. And you can see at the second level, just committing to the wrong gap. So he misfit the gap. Meaning those linebackers got to make that defensive front right.
The previous play, the chains were supposed to be set from the 19 to the 9-yard line. The end of the play was at the 10. It's 2nd down at that spot.
See that moving fast. Chain gang's trying to hustle down there and get set up.
John David Baker is the offensive coordinator for East Carolina. Came over from Ole Miss, where Lane Kiffin operates one of the fastest offenses in college football, and that has made its way to Greenville. Has some air raid principles, just like old offensive coordinator Lincoln Riley used to run here. Montgomery has the first down inside the 10.
On this drive anyway, they've been able to get some inside zone runs. Nothing crafty that time. A counter, you're pulling a lineman, a tight end. Able to get extra blockers at the point of attack. And right now they're just throwing body blows at this FAU defense.
Quick throw to right, breaks the tackle, touchdown. And Conrad's extra point makes it 21-0. It's the most points in a first quarter this season by East Carolina. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
This is pretty simple, right? Just one of those now passes. The smoke screen they call him. You flip it out there to Winston Wright. Gets in the end zone for the second time already here in the first quarter, as you pointed out. And the Pirates, they came out and they were willing to be crazy aggressive. They mentioned, you know, they wanted to kind of get, at least approach the game a little bit looser, right? They wanted to come in and play a little bit freer. Those were the terms we kept hearing in our calls. Boys, that's been the case. And if FAU, you got to be sitting there thinking you missed your opportunity on the third down. You were able to, you let Jari Patterson leak out. That just opened up the gate for Caden Hauser. Once again, first play of the game, direct snap, takes the handoff and dumps it downfield for a big play, and then the very next snap, downfield to Soule for a touchdown. And it's been like that all night long. This was Winston Wright. A little short motion when he started out in the slot, then flip it out there in space, and C.J. Hurd, the freshman, just incapable of getting him on the ground. The Pirates firing the cannons early.
End zone for a touchback. First and 10, Florida Atlantic at the 25.
We're talking about the CFP rankings. That's the big news from Tuesday night, right?
Yeah.
The rankings came out. Oregon is #1, Ohio State #2. So the Big Ten has the top 2 spots, and they have 4 teams in the top 8 that are in the rankings there. The Big Ten does. Those are the only 4 teams that are in the top 25 from the Big Ten. The SEC has 4 of the top 12. ACC, Big 12, and Mountain West all have 1 team apiece. That's a look at our college football playoff rankings, brought to you by Allstate.
The big one, a couple of weeks, Indiana and Ohio State. Be interested to see what happens in that one.
Jamari Sands is greeted in the backfield. It's a loss on the play, and Johnson makes the tackle.
They're just so active. You know, ECU, they've got those D linemen. They do a great job of creating penetration, but also just keep an eye on those big guys up front. They're moving around. They are looping. They are stunting. They're not just lining up and jetting upfield. The defensive line, they run stunts and twists like you normally do on passing downs, and it confuses the blocking scheme.
Third tackle for loss already for the Pirates here in this first quarter, and Fancher on a 2nd and 12. Flushed out, throws on the run. What a grab down in Pirates territory there by Jamari Sands.
Number 23, Jamari Sands.
This is a gloves catch. I mean, Sands, it just goes up there and stabbed it with one hand. Standing there wide open, a great job by Fancher. It was only a 3-man rush. It looked like he was going to try to scramble. And instead, Fancher does a great job of finding Sands downfield.
33-yard completion there from Fancher to Sands, and FAU is back in ECU territory. Fancher, nothing's open. Throws on the run to the bench.
Fancher's pass intended for number 7.
Fancher took a big hit at the end of the play.
He did. It looked like it was Zakai Barker that got to him. He was back there scrambling around, and you can see him definitely in pain.
lands hard on that throwing shoulder.
That ball clearly released. Not lobbying for a flag to come out, but I will say we have seen a lot less result in a flag coming out for roughing the passer. Left-handed quarterback was pushing back to his right. And obviously, it's always significant. Has a significant impact on an offense when a quarterback is injured, but especially in this contest versus a team in East Carolina that does such a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
Fancher has started every game this year for FAU, as you see Coach Herman and the staff worried about their leader.
There's good coverage, really know where to go with the football early, and he starts to flush out, gets turned back. Watch, ball's gone. We kind of lose sight of it there, but he ends up getting popped right as he was coming down, kind of had to jump to throw. And landed hard on that left shoulder. As you mentioned, Taylor, that's his throwing shoulder.
Kason Wiseman, the backup, you see him warming up, the redshirt freshman from Douglasville, Georgia, who started his collegiate career at Colorado. Has played some this season. It appears he is going to be in the football game here momentarily. FAU has been through it this season with a 2-6 record, dealing with turnovers all season, Alyssa.
Guys, as we watch this unfold, I'm standing over on the FAU sideline, kind of a different angle, and I can see that he's moving his arms. He is communicating with the training staff as they're kind of standing over him. I can't tell from y'all's vantage point what all you can see, but I can see that he's actively communicating with coaches and trainers.
Well, you just think of the injuries that Coach Herman and his team are dealing with tonight. They're without 3 starting defensive backs. One of their top 2 tailbacks, Zuberi Mobley, has been dealing with injuries, and a new one just popped up in the last week that forced him out of action tonight. And now their quarterback, who's been down on the ground here for quite some time, at the end of the first quarter.
Another look at that play that led to the injury. It was Lampley and Zakai Barker right there. Lampley really with the big shot. He landed on that left shoulder hard. It was immediate reaction. You hate to see it.
He's rushed for over 1,000 yards in his career at Marshall and for Florida Atlantic. Helped the Thundering Herd beat the Pirates here last year 31-13 in this stadium. Cautiously get him up to his feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Cam Fancher.
See all the love that is shared by his teammates there.
You can tell, though, clearly laboring in pain right there. Always good to see an athlete be able to get up, but it'll be likely the end of the evening for Fancher, and now Kason Wiseman, as you mentioned, just the 15 passing attempts on the season. And given the way the ECU has been able to affect the passer tonight, he will be challenged in the pocket. Just comes into the game now a 2nd and long. And it has not been an easy night running the football so far for the Owls.
Sands, who had that big grab out of the backfield on this drive, stands next to Wiseman here on a 2nd and 10, and Jamari, it's a few yards ahead. It'll be 3rd and long.
Jamari Sands on the carry.
As you mentioned, Taylor, they're shorthanded coming into this game. So the C.J. Campbell, Jamari Sands, a lot more leaning on them anyway without Mobley. And then, of course, Fancher, who coming into this game was one of the most effective rushers with 306 rushing yards, or 367 on the season. Substantial.
And the even bigger problem, Matt, has been the inability from the offensive line to protect whoever the quarterback has been this season, to see if Wiseman has time to complete a 3rd and 8 here.
You got to be smart right here as well.
He's flushed out of there and takes off with it near the bench. There's a flag down near the backfield.
You could see Wiseman trying to direct traffic downfield, just nowhere to go with the football, gloved in the secondary.
Offense number 78, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It happens so often, right? You get these passes, and it looked like Richardson, who ended up on top of Lampley, I think, on the rush. I guess they were calling him because he was laying on top, and they took the penalty here.
Yeah, instead of a 4th and a few, you go with 3rd and 18.
I guess they were worried they were in field goal range.
And this will be 4th down again. Wiseman does not get to the original line of scrimmage. He does get up to the Pirate 45-yard line at the end of the first quarter. What a performance in the first 15 minutes by East Carolina. On a blackout, the Pirates scored 3 touchdowns. A look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. This has always had one of the best student sections in college football at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, where the Pirates are pumped about the first 15 minutes. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, and their defense has been salty too. However, FAU's offense is still out there on a 4th and 12 to start the second quarter with backup quarterback Cason Wiseman. Wiseman, he's got to run 12 yards. He's not going to get there. It's a turnover on downs to give the ball back to the Pirates.
And there's a Pirate down late. Looks like it's Dontavius Nash. Came up and made that tackle. Odd sequence, really. You had a 4th and long, took the tackle, or took the penalty.
Hate to see Nash hurt. Wiseman coming in after Fancher injured his shoulder. Here is the tackle.
Hard to tell what happened. I don't know, maybe he got cleated as Wiseman went over him.
Nash is from the town we call Gas House here in the great state of North Carolina. That's Harold Varner III country, Gastonia, North Carolina, where ECU Pirates legendary golfer HV3 is from.
Reckon he's here tonight, HV3? In a deer stand somewhere, maybe?
There you go.
All right.
That is where he is.
Well, the cell coverage is probably excellent. He could probably
he was on the field for the last game as one of the honorary captains for the game and the victory against the other Owls of Temple in the last game here in Greenville.
Well, he's missing a shootout. I know that. You see Nash. Man, it must have clearly a lower body injury the way he's limping. That's a good-sized defensive back at 6'2" out of Gas House. That's new. For those of you scoring at home, Gastonia, for anyone with a map.
We got football all over the Carolinas tonight. You see the first 3 drives for East Carolina.
Wow.
And Caden Hauser. It has been punch, punch, punch. Blake Harrell and John David Baker, coaching staff, and Hauser, the quarterback. Meanwhile, down in Conway, South Carolina, the Chanticleers lead Appalachian State 17-0 on ESPN. So 2 choices here in the Carolinas tonight for some Thursday night college football. Hauser once more. Down the field, another open shot to right.
That time they had Winston Wright. He was lined up in the backfield in that split backfield set, and as per usual tonight, after an explosive play, Pirates right over the football.
27 yards. Now Marlon Gunn sneaks out of the backfield for a few. Here's that throw again.
You fake it to the left back, but on the right side of that split backfield was Winston Wright. So he comes sneaking out of that backfield, and repeatedly, man, nothing but big plays for number 1 tonight.
Gunn. A few more, it'll be 3rd and short. And again, Florida Atlantic's defense shorthanded due to a number of injuries in the secondary, and East Carolina has been picking that part of the FAU defense apart so far.
And a little gamesmanship there, so you've been running tempo, 3rd and short. And Hauser goes with the false cadence. Owls held in there tight, didn't jump off sides.
3rd straight carry. Gunn met in the backfield. No, lose yardage there.
And Jarrett Gerald's came shooting right downhill. Heck of a play. A much needed play by big number 44. East Carolina is saying, yeah, we're playing free, fast and loose, plus territory. They're going for it on 4th down.
Just 4 of 8 on 4th down this season.
End up getting, looks like a false start. That right guard.
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Emmanuel Poku, and just trying to get a head start. You have to think, as active as they've been, a lot of pullers. He was just ahead of himself. Had a little fly sweep motion to try to pull the eyes of the defense left and right. Be surprised if they weren't going to try to get right downhill. Doesn't matter. Get that procedure penalty to back you up and force a field goal.
Andrew Conrad has made one from 50. This is from 52. And that now is Conrad's. No, it's just short. It's under the crossbar. Made from 50, but falls short from 52.
How about that? A bright spot for FAU defensively. Barr, you lost your quarterback. The first time you've been able to get a stop all night. You've been facing an offense that's been swinging for the fences and connecting. Coming into that drive, ECU 15.5 yards per play, and they're able to find a way to get a stop on that short yardage.
Probably would have been good from 51 and hit the bottom of the field goal post there on the fly, but just barely missed that crossbar. And so Florida Atlantic finally gets off the field on defense. Weissman begins this drive after the Fancher injury. And that ball dropped by Campbell. There's Fancher. After the injury to his throwing shoulder on the previous possession, he is rejoining his teammates after a sling was put on him in the locker room.
Oh man, you see him just wincing in pain. Didn't even take his pads off. He's got him in a sling over his shoulder pads. Not sure I've seen that before.
Campbell on the carry. That's more like it from CJ as he gets around the left edge. Just short of a first down.
Able to get to the perimeter, something that FAU talked about needing to be able to do. You got to be able to get outside and around these big bodies. Nice lead block by Zeke Moore to get him to the perimeter.
Campbell, that's a first down run.
Campbell on the carry, picks up 5 yards.
And if you're Wiseman and you're Charlie Fry over there for FAU, you got to get something going. This is perfect. This is ideal. You got a backup quarterback, doesn't have a ton of experience. Can you get your ground game to start complementing what you're trying to do offensively?
One in the box.
Open Mike down there for head referee. But take some of the pressure off of the passing game. Try to loosen the defensive up and also take some of it off the shoulders of your backup QB.
And they go straight ahead with Campbell. And I also think controlling the football for a while would be important too after East Carolina has been so prolific offensively.
That's a great point. You got to try to find a way to slow this game down. You know, they don't huddle, right? So because of that, you're constantly on your heels, and with ECU scoring at such a pace, defense finally gets a stop. Now the offense moving the football a little bit for the second time tonight.
And you see that play call really wasn't in until about 12 seconds were left on the play clock. All the way down to 1, taking as much time as they can, and Campbell is down near the 41-yard line.
Great push that time by FAU up front. And that was a hole reminiscent of some of the holes we saw earlier. And Campbell's now nicked up. You know, he went down oddly at the end of that run. Really weird end to that play. He tried to get up, didn't make it far. He's now back on the turf.
Injured player, full time out on the field.
Already without their quarterback and one of their tailbacks, and Campbell is down. This is Veterans Week on ESPN, presented by USAA. CJ Campbell is heading into the tent on the FAU bench. He had all the touches on this drive, 3 carries. Was unable to make a catch on the first play of the drive, and he has set up FAU in East Carolina territory, but goes out of the game, and Jamari Sands comes in for Campbell. And now on a reverse, it's Hayes with the ball inside the 35.
What a heck of a play. Made all the way across the field by Jamali Riddle to walk this play down. And otherwise, it looked like FAU was going to get a big gainer. Riddle just closing the gap. Excellent closing speed that time.
7-yard carry for Hayes, the sophomore from Sarasota, Florida. As Tom Herman is being methodical with this drive, and wisely so after what East Carolina's offense did to him in the first quarter. Wiseman able to escape throw on the run, and it's a first down throw to Hayes as we send it down to Alyssa.
CJ Campbell just came out of the tent a minute or so ago. He's been jogging around on the sidelines. He's actively jumping up and down right now. He still looks to be in a little bit of pain, guys, a little bit of a slight limp, but he's still kind of working out with that trainer as he heads to the back of the FAU area and is doing some skips right now. I'll keep you updated on if he's ready to go back in coming up.
They need him, Alyssa, after the injury to Cam Fancher, the starting quarterback, went down on the last drive. Zuberi Mobley, who's carried the football about half the time this year, is unavailable, not even here tonight for FAU after an injury.
You see, Wiseman wants a timeout there, Taylor. You know, it's interesting because eight plays on this drive.
Florida Atlantic, 30 seconds.
They've only had really 2 drives that have done anything with the ball. This one being the second of the 2, obviously the backup quarterback, but it's been the ground game it's gotten going a little bit, not just traditionally. So they're getting some touches to some of their perimeter players, getting the ball out on the outside. Looks like Campbell with his helmet on, joining that offensive huddle. And I think, wise to take that timeout right there. Wiseman's like, hey man, let's just stop. We'll get over here, collaborate a little bit, listen to what the coach has to say so that you can prepare to continue this drive. You want to make sure that you get some points out of this possession if you can.
Make no mistake, Tom Herman's a terrific football coach. He's proven that everywhere he's gone. Keeping a roster intact no matter where you are in today's college football landscape is challenging. It'll certainly be his toughest task moving forward at FAU. 1st and 10 here. Another handoff, and it's Sands met in the backfield by Samuel Denka.
Amari Rogers came flying downhill. His safety spot. That was one of those where you got a runner stood up. You got to be smart if you're a defender in today's football. The boy was not scared to get his nose in there. Not an effective first down play coming out of that timeout.
Now Wiseman will throw, drifts back, and a perfect ball to the sideline to Smith.
Perfect ball's right. And Smith, once again, right on the boundary. Wiseman just drops it in there. A red zone possession. And the Owls, as we mentioned, struggle mightily in this portion of the field. With your backup quarterback in there, the ground game gets it going a little bit, and then Wiseman able to deliver. Smith able to corral that one. Had a drop earlier on a 3rd down.
1st and goal, Owls inside the ECU 8. It's Sands inside the 5 near the goal line, and he stopped inside the 1.
Nice run by Sands. His feet stopped for a moment. He's able to keep those legs churning. I gotta say, credit the FAU offensive front as well, asserting themselves on this possession. You lose your leader and Cam Fancher at quarterback. You got guys stepping up big on offense all over the place.
Sands, no, loses a yard. Zakai Barker met him in the backfield. Here's that previous 7-yard run.
I see Sands, he kind of gets his feet stopped right at the line of scrimmage and just found a way to leak up field. And what Sands was saying before that last run, he was saying, I got in the end zone. So he took a second look at it. Now, and another injured player. Looks like it's Gavin Gibson for ECU. Dante Johnson was one of the first ones into the backfield on that run. Lost a yard.
Gibson, who started his career at Maryland, but is from this state over in the foothills of the mountains in Hickory. Incredible, the hurricane relief efforts that have been made for this state in recent weeks. Try to rebuild that region. On a 3rd and goal now, Campbell is back in the game for the first time since the injury, and he's next to Wiseman here on this 3rd and goal.
Just crucial that you get a touchdown the way ECU has been moving the football and scoring. Only 17 touchdowns on 31 trips coming into this game.
Fake to Campbell, Wiseman throws, touchdown, Jabari Smith. What a drive by FAU. 12 plays and 64 yards in over 5 minutes for the backup quarterback Wiseman and his friends out of the backfield.
You think about the way it got started. CJ Campbell on the ground, get the ball out on the perimeter. More than anything, the Owls and that offensive front, that's what impressed me. They're starting to get some push on the ECU defensive line. Well, the Owls got a stop on defense, and the offense responded with their backup quarterback, finding Jabari Smith, and FAU's on the board.
All right, according to the All-State Playoff Predictor, the Boise State Broncos, ranked 12th in the first playoff rankings this week, have a 71% chance to reach the college football playoff. The only undefeated team left in the group of five, number 25 Army from the American Conference, a 21% chance. And they've got a tough test this weekend. They're at North Texas, who's a scrappy team in this conference. Tulane, UNLV, Louisiana also on that page. It's quite the drop-off from Boise State and the rest.
Yeah, Boise State's legit now. I mean, Oregon is lucky to have escaped with a victory over the Broncos. It doesn't hurt to have one of the best running backs, maybe the best.
Ashton Jinty's averaging 8 yards a carry.
That's good. That's almost a first down. Hand him the football. It's the blue turf. It's faster, I swear.
How much fun would it be if Army somehow made the playoff this year in the first year of the 12-team playoff? East Carolina knows all about Army. Caden Hauser played against him a couple of weeks ago, and he got cooking in the second half against Army, and he hadn't slowed down since.
You see the way he's going. He came in here ready to roll. I mean, obviously, the touchdowns, he's got 3 already, had him in there in the first quarter. Last week versus Temple, we mentioned it. 5 touchdown throws, 5 different receivers on those touchdown throws. And they haven't really slowed down. Give the Owls defense credit. They finally were able to get that stop and force a missed field goal.
Yeah, Blake Carroll keeps saying, let it rip. Empty the tank. Jari Patterson, the speedster, gets around the corner. And you could tell when we met with John David Baker, the offensive coordinator for East Carolina, he had a grin on his face because his head coach now is saying, hey man, empty the playbook the rest of the season. 8-yard carry there, and now Harris gets the first down run.
Yeah, you imagine, and I think John David Baker knew that, look, if we just get out of our own way offensively, stop turning the football over, there's some explosive playmaking ability on this roster.
Hauser and the Pirates can go as quickly as anyone in the game, but electing to slow it down here, just over the 5-minute mark, up 2 touchdowns. Harris. No one is making contact with him until he's about 5 yards down the field.
Well, part of what they saw there, and you can see kind of looking over to the sideline, was a light box. Not a lot of defenders near the line of scrimmage on that previous run.
Rajay's gone over 2,500 yards rushing in his career, over 600 this season. On a 2nd and 3, down goes Hauser. Gavinch Marcellin on the tackle.
FAU doesn't get a lot of pressure, but this time on a stunt, running all the way in from his defensive end spot was Marcellin. True freshman and able to get home. Kind of confused the protection scheme. They had an open receiver downfield. If the protection had held up, it looked like Kalen Robinson was going to be an option right down the middle of the field.
8-yard loss after the sack on 3rd and 11. Nice catch made down the field there by Anthony Smith, but marked short of the first.
An FAU defender way upfield. Did not even see him. It looked like ECU maybe was going to try to hurry up there on a 4th down.
Back for that 4th down in just a moment.
Save now with the early Black Friday sale at Target. Get 30% off select toys, 30% off holiday lights, and up to 50% off small appliances. Hurry, these deals end Saturday. Save more on gifts. Happier holidays from Target.
changes in the air. It's a new era, new team-ups, new stages set. Whose time is it? We'll see. This isn't last season. Nah.
Oh, puts up a three-pointer.
This time is different.
At ESPN, we are proud to salute America's veterans and members of the military for their sacrifice and service to our country. Tune in this week for tributes and special features across ESPN programming honoring our great service members.
That's the freshman from Homestead, Florida, Gavin Marcellin. It'll be 4th and 1 for East Carolina after that catch by Smith. Marked just short of the first. And East Carolina up 14 on their side of the field, has elected to punt it away.
Boy, Day Hill got away with the tug, did he not? On that catch.
Luke Larson, the 32-year-old punter, the oldest man in college football, punts it down to the 20-yard line, and Omari Hayes. I am pumped for this tomorrow night, Mr. Stinchcomb, on this channel. Number 1, Kansas hosts number 9, North Carolina at Allen Fieldhouse. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. A lot of neighbors where I live in Charlotte are headed to Lawrence to historic Allen Fieldhouse to watch that one tomorrow night. That's a bucket list place for me to go to, one of the best places in all of sports, Allen Fieldhouse.
What does Roy Williams do with himself during that game?
I don't know if he watches. He never wanted those two programs to play. They did meet in the NCAA tournament a few times while he was coaching the team. Of course, now it's Hubert Davis, and in the backfield here, it's C.J. Campbell on a tackle for loss, losing yardage.
Second down and 11.
Well, almost were able to accumulate the same amount of yardage they had in the first 3 drives on that last one.
And the key was really avoiding third downs. They converted 2 of them. One of them was the touchdown. The big play was that 2nd and 11 to hit Jabari Smith. Wiseman able to step up and play well, hit a couple of nice throws on that drive.
After a 2-yard loss, Wiseman time to survey the entire field, and he throws a completed ball there to Marlon Johnson. Came over from Buffalo for his last year of eligibility. It's pickup of 8.
Last time they got it to 3rd and manageable. It was a 3rd and 1 before the 3rd down touchdown throw. Now this 3rd down, and will ECU seek to bring pressure on that 2nd down? They only rushed 3. They've got 4 defenders on the line of scrimmage now. Mug up that backer, and Zakai Barker right over the ball.
On 3rd and 4, downfield to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Marlon Johnson had a chance at it, but evidently bobbled it 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like he was juggling it, had a chance to get it there. Catchable ball from Wiseman. I gotta tell you, the kid did not have a lot of experience coming into this game. Engineered that previous drive, narrowly missed to getting a conversion on that 3rd down.
And Lupo back onto the field to punt for the Owls. Felt like a real opportunity there for Florida Atlantic. You're down 2 scores. You get the ball first in the second half. They were able to just maintain possession of the ball and score some points, but instead punting it back to the Pirates. And Wright makes the catch, doesn't call for a fair catch, stays upright. Gets a few yards with 1:55 to go in the first half. It's the under 2-minute timeout in Greenville.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
As a member of Navy Federal Credit Union, Frank feels financially at ease, which means he can worry about other things, like if he should look at a text during his anniversary dinner. But what if there's an emergency? What if he left the iron on? What if the house is on fire? Does the fire department text? Frank has a lot of things to worry about, but as a member of Navy Federal, his finances aren't one of them. Become a member today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like, cloud nine. 2 words, cloud nine. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken, and it's got pickled jalapenos, and it's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Coming up at the half, break down Carson Beck's ups and downs. Watch out, Coach Prime, for the Red Raiders this weekend. And Matt Stinchcomb's halftime plans have just changed because Kevin Connors and the boys will have an ode to the offensive line.
God, I wonder what they're talking, man. 3-step protection, pin and pull. What could it possibly be? A ratings bonanza, ode to the O-line. That's destination television, man.
One of the best offensive linemen ever to play for the Georgia Bulldogs, Matt Stinchcomb, Taylor Zarzer, Alyssa Lang here with you. And East Carolina is a 1st and 10 with 1:55 to go in the first half. Good ball from Hauser there to Desario Riles. Big tight end makes the catch.
Speaking of O-line play, though, you know, FAU continuing to be able to get into that offensive backfield on some of their twists and stunts along their defensive line.
And on 2nd and 2, again over the middle, catch and run by Smith. Can he outrace everybody? Yes, touchdown! Smith makes a catch in traffic and goes 65 yards to the house.
Touchdown is under further review.
They're going to take another look at the end of this run. You know, Smith probably wouldn't have gotten caught, but that hoodie slowed him down. It's like a parachute. It looks like maybe he kind of goes down. I don't know why he goes down. He could have run into the end zone. Watch Smith. I don't know if he thought he was going to get caught or what, but watch him. That right knee is down. Now the question is, where is the football? Ruled a touchdown on the field. And if we don't have a down the line look at it, ball's in his left arm. So there's his knees down right there. Bam. Ball's in his left arm, but you can't see the ball. His body is obstructing it. Tough. Maybe just run into the end zone and not make it an issue.
You know, now we have guys that used to play for Florida, playing for Georgia, players transferring from Auburn to Alabama or vice versa. You would never think an NC State man would transfer to East Carolina. In this state, that is a huge rivalry. That's what Anthony Smith did, trying to score a touchdown here for the Pirates.
Yeah, tricky look at it. They're back out of the hood pretty quickly.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee was down with the ball short of the goal line. It will be 1st and goal. The game clock will start on my signal.
64-yard completion instead of a 65-yard touchdown.
So here's the route. Right underneath, and if you don't make a tackle, it's a foot race. And it cost him. He's just going to burn a little bit more clock. And the ball is spotted just off the goal line, 1st and goal.
What it does allow the Pirates to do is use as much of that play clock and game clock as possible here on that 1st and goal with a big backfield in front of Harris, and Harris dives over for the score. Just delaying the inevitable there, Matthew.
Yeah, and a little bit more clock more than anything else. You know, Maybe Smith wanted to get his boy Harris in the end zone, spread the love around. The receivers have certainly gotten a lot of run in this game and last versus Temple.
How about this first half of Caden Hauser? 10 of 11 for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Harris now with a touchdown run of his own.
8 plays over 15 yards tonight. This is a staggering number. And going into this possession, ECU only had 53 offensive yards in the second quarter. 8 of their 27 plays have gone for more than 15 yards. It's unbelievable what they've been able to do in their explosive playmaking.
I wouldn't want to play Blake Carroll's team the rest of the way. They have Tulsa next Thursday on ESPN. Then at North Texas and host Navy the Friday after Thanksgiving. They would need a lot to happen to get to that conference championship game, but they're not out of it yet, especially with the way this offense is rolling.
You think about the changes that they've undertaken, right? So you get run by Charlotte. Army game doesn't go well. You make a change at quarterback in that one, and then you make a change at head coach. And I will say offensively, since
the half,
even if you can't get points, 2 plays
due to Fancher's injury, Wiseman throws into traffic. It's caught and then stay incomplete.
Look to me as
think forced that incompletion there. Now loading up again, trying to find something.
Hitting on
defensive coordinator knows first down is Khalil Brand. Tom Herman.
All way, you cannot afford to not. Couple of punts tonight. See if they go after this one.
Lupo able to get that one off the side of his foot. And Wright does field it off of a couple of bounces, and he's able to get a few more yards. The Pirate bench wanted a flag as the tackle was made near Wright's headgear.
But I don't see 47 seconds and 2 times.
Throughout the season, the Citadel, and when way there, forward, first down.
So FAU brought 4, but there were no defenders in the middle. He just flushed up and through the pocket. That's where the scramble yards come from.
Please reset the game clock to 4.
Officials had to stop play so they get the game clock corrected, add 3 seconds on it.
Hauser pumps. Deep ball. Only the second incompletion of the
deep.
Conrad did miss a 52-yarder earlier in the half. Need another first down to give him a reasonable chance. Hauser underneath throw to Montgomery out of the backfield at the first down marker and out of bounds. Hauser over the middle, and he had him too.
Hauser knew that's where he wanted to go.
So, well, of course, started the scoring tonight with that touchdown on the first drive of the game. Transfer that came over from Colorado. On an option play, Hauser, first down, touchdown!
Official timeout for an injured player.
Sowell was injured on the play. And he will limp off. It's not currently on your screen, but Chase Sowell, the receiver, banged up there.
Andrew Conrad in for the extra point.
And the Pirates are pouring it on. 3 touchdown drives in under a minute in the first half.
Caden Hauser can do no wrong. We talked about the 3 incompletions. One of them easily could have been caught. Didn't matter. Pushing the ball downfield, throwing strikes. It started early. Only the second play of the game to so well. Then he's going to hit right. They brought him in motion. Yet another touchdown throw. He's able to jam one in there to right. He breaks a tackle. That's 2 for number 1. Then how about just keeping it? Option look, and he said, no. I think I've got this one right before the end of offense.
Known who the starter was going to be, and he said he's never seen a competition as close as the one between Hauser and Jake Garcia was this August. Ability to protect
in the passing or offensively. You got that missed field.
Alyssa.
Up at the end of the half, now we got to come out in the second half and keep playing that same effort, that same energy for each other that we did in the first half.
How did their quarterback change affect what you need from your defense?
You know, Cam's okay. He's a heck of a player. He has that scramble ability. 12 does as well. Good high school football player from South Paulton High School in Georgia. So he's got to keep it in front of us and do a better job tackling. We didn't tackle.
Hunters and the crew.
On ESPN.
It's leading Florida Atlantic.
Your team,
yeah, that's right.
Maybe something really changes the tide for you this year, but we can say this, East Carolina, the past 2 times out, and included tonight, offensively, it's been a ballistic rise.
To Milan.
Well, it makes sense that it would be this guy, Caden Hauser, and even before he ran it in for a touchdown, right before the half, just piling up the yards. Only had 2 of those 3 incompletions came on that final drive. One was a shot downfield. The other could have been caught. He has been on fire this entire game. And then, of course, took it in on that option play for a touchdown as a runner. It was a heck of a first half for the quarterback at ECU.
And meanwhile, Florida Atlantic's Cam Fancher was injured his throwing shoulder, so Kason Wiseman has been pressed into duty. Handoff on the first play to Campbell, who gets a few yards as we go down to Alyssa Lang.
Taylor, I caught up with FAU head coach Tom Herman coming out of halftime. I asked him about Cam Fancher's injury. He said he's dealing with a fracture in that shoulder. When it comes to Kason Wiseman and what this offense looks like, he said he understands it. He's just a freshman without a ton of experience. He said, as far as the message that I sent to my team, I told them that this second half would challenge them as men. He said, I'm going to go out there and fight. Let's be proud when we watch the tape back tomorrow. We chipped away in the first half. We just got to keep going.
Campbell makes the catch there, and we'll get a couple of yards back. It'll be 3rd and long against this feisty East Carolina defense. For as much credit as we give the Pirates offense, this defense has come to play tonight too.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's negative yardage plays, as we've mentioned repeatedly. You know, the one sustained drive that resulted in the FAU touchdown. That Owl offensive front was able to assert itself and get some push. That has not been the case most of the time tonight.
FAU just 2 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. Wiseman throws quickly. It's a first down ball up past the 40-yard line to Omari Hayes. Pick up a 14 yards.
You know, he has thrown the ball well. I mean, we think about right there before half. Obviously, the 3 passes, 2 of them dangerous throws, but we've also seen him drop it in there. A good ball to Jabari Smith, and then obviously on that play to get a conversion on 3rd down.
Wiseman has plenty of time, surveys the field, nothing open, takes off, and we'll get a few yards before he is pushed out of bounds by Julian Davis.
You can see on early downs, ECU content with just bringing their down linemen, just the big 3. The idea really is, especially with Wiseman, they mentioned going into half that maybe he's a bit of a runner, but not near the threat that Cam Fancher is. So they're content to allow him to kind of extend the play and flood the coverage with defenders, dropping 8 and really just rushing 3.
Moving the pocket against his body, throws underneath, and a good ball, and then a first down pass to the freshman Leon Washington for 14.
Seen it a couple of times. Wiseman just buying time. That time rolling to his left against his throwing arm. Able to throw a strike to Washington and another conversion. You know, on that scoring drive, Taylor, they ran 12 plays. Only 2 of them were third downs. One was the scoring touchdown play on third down. They were able to win on first and second down and move the chains, avoiding third down altogether.
Wiseman loads up downfield and just over the outstretched hands of Washington. And that's the last thing you want to see there. After the injury to Fancher early in the game, now Wiseman is taking a shot.
You could see him
Timeout for an injured player.
having a hard time even getting up off the turf. And once again, yet another injury. It has been largely an episode of MASH here tonight. One injury after the next. Off the play action. And he got hit after the ball was thrown. We've seen this a couple times tonight. The officials have certainly allowed the defenders a step or two. That time took a shot right to his back, and I wonder if it was maybe a helmet. Chad Stevens could have hit him just below the waistline in his hind end.
There's Tyreek Starks. He's the only other quarterback that's available for FAU. Hey, Starks hasn't attempted a pass this season. Cam Fancher in the first quarter was injured on this play. You just heard Alyssa's report, injuring his throwing shoulder on that play. And Fancher now wearing that brace, still dealing with a lot of pain. And Wiseman's out, Starks is in. First pass of the year goes to Campbell. And CJ out of the backfield takes it inside the East Carolina 40.
And if you're offensive coordinator Charlie Fry, you're sitting there saying, okay, so, I mean, we can't afford to be overly conservative, haven't run the football great. And I've got a quarterback now in the game, hadn't attempted a pass. Well, now he has. How's that for a first play call? Come into the game on a second down. First things first, let's put the ball in your hands, spin it out to your back. Make this third and manageable.
On 3rd and 4, Starks in trouble, but plows forward right past the first down marker. It is a first down run for Starks, who hasn't played in a game for FAU since the Rice game last November.
Well, I like the way he managed that pocket. He took a big shot. You see the competitor in Starks popped right up, gave that first down signal.
Starks was 5 of 10 passing in that Rice game last year.
Offense number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's the left tackle, Malcolm Lamar Sr. Tom Herman, the head coach at FAU, now calling plays for his 3rd quarterback of the night, a man that is out there for the first time in 50 weeks. That's Cason Wiseman on the sideline, trying to move around and get back in the game.
I bet we see him again. You know, I think it's just kind of like the old Charlie horse. You walk up and frog somebody, got a helmet right there to the glute.
And a design run, Starks, first down near the 25 and hit as he is thrown out of bounds. It's a 13-yard run.
Yet another big shot from Starks. That time popped right back up once again. You see the competitive spirit. Doesn't feel like he's in any way intimidated by the circumstance. You see him covering his ears, getting that call in from the sideline as the green dot at quarterback. Communication verbally until there's 15 seconds.
Of course, after the penalty was applied, it is not a first down after the 13-yard run. 2nd and 3. Over the middle, intercepted. Deflected off one Pirate into the arms of another. That's Jamarlee Riddle. An interception, 2 of them last week. He has another this week.
Your third string quarterback. There have been a couple other risky throws earlier in this game by Weissman. This time Starks comes in. And ECU, a defense, opportunistic, 2 defenders. They get the takeaway.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN tonight in Greenville, North Carolina. The Pirates all over Florida Atlantic, 35-7. 2 Pirates had a chance at this football, playing a little hot potato there. Raheem Craig basically volleying it, or setting it, I guess, a volleyball term, to Jamarlee Riddle.
Would have been a great set. Riddle spiked it. The takeaway. 10-play drive prior to that turnover.
And the Pirates go back to work on offense, and you should see plenty of Rajay Harris and the rest of the Pirate tailbacks here in the second half with this massive 28-point lead. Very important, Mr. Stinchcomb, if you're going to come to this part of North Carolina, that you pronounce the name of the town correctly, which you always do. Greenville.
Yeah, not Greenville, right? Greenville, what are we doing? It's Greenville.
62, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Procedure penalty at home. Never want to see that. It's been a relatively clean game for ECU. Prior to that penalty here at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium in Greenville, North Carolina.
Attaboy. Town just down the road that's 2 different words, but it's New Bern, North Carolina. There's also Jacksonville, North Carolina down the road. Here's a little sweep to Wright. And Wright gets up near the 40-yard line. And one more town you need to be aware of. Not Little Washington, North Carolina, but Wool. Like an L-I-L almost.
Is there an apostrophe in there or something? How about that, Keith?
Hauser gives himself up after a run of a couple of yards. No matter what the name of the town is, Rocky Mount, you name it in this area, they cheer for the Pirates, a proud program that has seen great days with coaches like Steve Logan, Skip Holtz, Ruffin McNeil. And interim coach Blake Harrell has this program rolling after making a debut, scoring 56 points against Temple. Pirates are well on their way to a big night again here in game number 2 of the Harrell era.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty impressive. Looking back to the first half, just the 1 punt, a missed field goal. Otherwise, an incredibly efficient and really ruthless offensive game plan. Second play of the game, touchdown. They came out swinging hard, came out of their cleats a couple of times. Very aggressive coming into this game.
On 3rd and 3, there's a pass to Harris, and the run after the catch yields the first down. And to your point, Matt, you hear programs often say, we have nothing to lose, we're going to play free, throw it all out there, and they don't necessarily do that. They still play somewhat of cautious football. The Pirates are truly letting it rip tonight, and there's the latest example. Anthony Smith, touchdown. Anthony Wright with a 46-yard reception. Conrad's extra point makes it 42-7.
Going after Day-Day Hill again. A little double move, a pump fake, more than enough. But what a night for Caden Hauser. Wow. Shoot your gun.
Kick off your Week 10 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. with the Countdown crew on ESPN. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game. It's right up to kickoff. Then on Monday night, the Dolphins take on the Rams from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Coverage begins with the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then the game kicks just after 8 o'clock. Lots to dance about tonight in Greenville, where the Pirates are whipping the latest edition of the Owls. Beat the Temple Owls last time out, scoring 56 points and up 42-7 tonight on the FAU Owls.
You think about the last 6 quarters. Oh,
bouncing off of Tucker, and he's fortunate to field it. It's that kind of night for Florida Atlantic.
It's been rough. It really has. And of course, Tucker is down. I mean, it's just not only, the scoreboard, the insult to many, many injuries. ECU, 1,003 yards in their last 3 quarters.
What is strigoformophobia? Is that a fear of owls? Is that what that is? Or
I sure hope so. Otherwise, I wonder who is the cruel, who built that graphic to make you try to say it?
I see there at the bottom, yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, fear of owls.
Okay, Kason Wiseman is back in the game for the Owls.
Strigoformophobia.
Fortunately, Kennesaw State and Rice, also the Owls, at least for their sake, not on East Carolina's schedule. Wiseman underneath, it's dropped. Let's go down to Alyssa.
You know, Kason Wiseman, as you guys said, back in the game, and watching him on the sidelines, what an impressive young man. He popped some medicine, was working with trainers. Obviously, after coming out after that last offensive possession that he was out there for, moved around the entire time, jumping around, getting in his teammates' faces, saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Went up to coach, coach, put me back in. You could tell he was still in pain, but fighting to get back out there. Coach Herman said, what we're missing is belief. And Kason Wiseman on the sidelines trying to instill some of that down 42-7.
Certainly a ton of respect that he's out there, and what a catch. Marlon Johnson in traffic, stuck his paw out there and makes a big grab for 23.
That's a couple of one-handed grabs we've seen by the Owls here tonight. Wow. Great concentration, too. He didn't really catch it. He just stopped the ball with that right arm of his. Earlier, we saw Jamari Sands make a great one-handed catch.
I'm still not over the strigoformophobia.
I'm terrified of the word.
Wiseman checks it down, and it's caught by Campbell.
It's complete to number 5.
Take another look at the former Buffalo Bull, Marlon Johnson, this great catch.
It's over the middle. Look at the extension. This great concentration and courage, really, right? You're going over the middle. You are fully exposed. When you reach up like that, great concentration to come up with a big catch for his quarterback.
Loss of 1 on that last grab and the underneath throw to Campbell. And now 2nd and 11 for Wiseman, showing some guts tonight. Another good catch in as Hayes jumps up to make the grab at the 40 for 13 more yards.
Pressure coming right at him, too. I mean, just a fantastic job of standing in there. He's already left the game once as Wiseman. Delivered a little bit of a high throw, but nonetheless one to get the conversion and extend this drive rather.
And Wiseman, another completed ball. It's caught by Johnson, taking a knee after 12 more. So East Carolina beats the Temple Owls all over the FAU Owls tonight. And if you are afraid of an owl, my question is, what else are you afraid of?
That's a great point. And what did that owl do to you to induce said fear? And to make you strigophobic.
And who on earth came up with that term? So many questions.
What a jerk.
Still to be answered in the next 19 minutes and 26 seconds. Running the wrong direction is Jamari Sands is tackled, still in Pirates territory. I personally might be more nervous around a Pirate than I would be an Owl.
I think that the chances of encountering an Owl's got to be much higher.
Really?
There's not a ton of piracy going on anymore. I mean, you got to go to like Somalia or something, right?
I got an email about them getting to my porch this morning.
Oh, yeah. I forgot it. Yeah, they're out there.
Pirates typically have rum, though.
It's a fair point.
This is why we bring Alyssa. Wiseman, it takes off, and he gives himself up inside the 40.
They also usually have scurvy too, though, right? It's a bad combo. Got the rum and the scurvy. Just not a lot of citrus fruits on those boats back then. Walking around all bow-legged.
I hope Johnny Depp is watching, as this will be a 3rd and 1. Oh, there they are.
Yeah, 2 of them. Now, in real life, were there a lot of husband-wife? Because that looks like a couple. That's a couple of pirates. A couple of pirates.
Pretty cool look, too.
Yeah.
On 3rd and 1, Wiseman throws. Incomplete. Good effort by Smith, but unable to make the grab. 4th down.
See, they're subbing in some guys. Push it downfield one more time. FAU saying, hey, look, we're just trying to extend this drive. And 4th and less than 1. And we've mentioned repeatedly how ECU has made it very difficult to move the football. It's not an easy yard, the way that they played defense, especially versus the run tonight.
On that 4th and 1, good move by Sands to get past the chains and keep the drive alive. If you're Tom Herman in Florida Atlantic, you're looking for some sort of momentum with your program here in year number 2, 4-8 last year, 2-6 start this year. And then the hard part becomes keeping those most talented players, Matt, in this day of immediate eligibility and being able to transfer wherever you'd like with NIL opportunities everywhere. Had a terrific conversation with Coach Herman about that last night. 1st and 10, Wiseman, great ball, 1st down on the run to Smith.
What a great play by Wiseman. Keeping this play alive, navigating the pocket. You got pressure at your feet right away. Pushes up, keeps his eyes downfield, rolling to your right. All your momentum is going towards the sideline, and he just flicks it downfield. What a play.
27-yard throw down to the 10.
And again, connecting with Jabari Smith. You see definitely some chemistry developing between those two for our very eyes.
Wiseman out of the end zone, incomplete. Talking to Coach Herman, he was saying the big key for programs like Florida Atlantic moving forward are keeping your most talented underclassmen, recruiting the right guys out of high school, keeping them in the program instead of power programs taking them away from you, as we've seen, and then finding a few guys that are at the, say, FCS level and bringing them into the program. That's how you turn a program like FAU into a winner. Wiseman drifts back and will throw that one out of the end zone too, 3rd down.
Yeah, the challenge that he has, right, is if you've got guys, if you're taking them from Group of 5 or Power 5, then you're likely bringing in a problem. Well, what is it that this guy lacks, and is there a way for me to develop him beyond that deficiency versus a guy that was under-recruited, a guy who maybe didn't grow till late or didn't mature too late, or whatever it might be. His point was that the success rate is higher if you can find a guy like that, and the retention rate as well. Get a guy in your program, you can keep him.
Has to love what he sees from the effort from Wiseman here on this drive. Keeps the football in this 3rd down and throws, and it's short. Caught by Smith, who was hit as he was going out of bounds. And it will be 4th down at the 3.
You said it. You see Wiseman still, as he's moving, kind of laboring as he moves around, but still fighting it. And a 4th and goal, 3-yard line. But part of the reason they got there, 4th down conversion and a pretty outstanding play, heroic play by Wiseman managing the pocket to get it to this point.
Wiseman throws, and it's intercepted. Taking a knee in the end zone is Gavin Gibson. Wiseman overthrows his intended target, and East Carolina back on offense. All Pirates tonight. This is Veterans Week on ESPN, presented by USAA. Arg. Lots of that to say tonight. Here is that latest interception.
Yeah, just behind on the throw. Trying to get it in there to Amari Hayes, and Gibson comes away with the booty. Look at that. Opens up the old treasure chest on the sideline.
Pace yourself over there, buddy.
We got a whole quarter. There's plenty more where that came from.
Hauser with the handoff to Gunn.
21 Marlon Gunn on the carry for the Pirates. Hit in the
tackled in the backfield for a loss of 2 there on the play. East Carolina, as we head to the 4th quarter, looks like they're about to be 5-4 on the season, and Blake Harrell will be 2-0 as an interim head coach. Tulsa next Thursday night on ESPN at the Mean Green before playing Navy the Friday after Thanksgiving back here in Greenville, North Carolina. What a performance in the first 45 minutes tonight. The AAC on ESPN Plus is your home for more than 1,000 games and the destination for all American championships. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC or download the ESPN app. I know a lot of people out there are hoping for an Army-Navy American Championship game, followed by the Army-Navy game the following week, which would be a non-conference game. Right now, it would be Army versus Tulane if the season ended. Tulane does play Navy in a couple of weeks.
It's a lot of maritime in that championship game.
And don't forget about the Pirates. We have 15 minutes of Stinchcomb giving
nautical references.
As you see the rest of Tulsa, North Texas, and Navy on Coach Harrell's schedule the rest of the way. And if this team keeps up, who knows, maybe an 8-4 finish and a good bowl game for the Pirates the way they're going.
I'd be nervous for the Pirates to go up against the Navy. It's sworn enemies right there when you think about it in every context.
Over 500 yards of total offense for East Carolina tonight. Caden Hauser has been sensational. Jari Patterson makes the catch there. Hauser just went over 300 yards a few passes ago. 4 touchdowns throwing, 1 touchdown running for the sophomore from Anaheim, California.
I mean, it really has been. It was anchors away right out of the gate. He came in here throwing shots downfield. And then, as you mentioned, got one in there in the ground game as well.
Marlon Gunn moves ahead for a few yards. Setting up a 2nd down here for East Carolina. It's a terrific place to come watch a football game. Purple haze always blaring as the Pirates come onto the field in front of what is typically a raucous crowd.
It's a great place to eat barbecue too, pal.
My
I gotta say, wow.
Shout out to Skylight.
Man.
Just down the road in Ayden, North Carolina. And if you're wondering, I'm sure I'm going to get an Instagram message or two about this. Bee's Barbecue is terrific here in Greenville, but we didn't get to town in time, and they had run out of food. And they run out of food because the food's so good, there was none left. That happens every day.
Wow. Yeah.
This really is. I mean, a lot of people have, passionate opinions about North Carolina barbecue. You go to the western side of the state, and people want to go to Lexington, North Carolina, and eat barbecue there. As Patterson makes the catch and is out of bounds. But over in these parts, you'll find 3, 4, 5 of the top 6 or 7 barbecue joints in the state.
Can't go wrong. And not only was the food awesome, the whole scene, it looked the way a barbecue joint was supposed to look. As our spotter Russ is over there night training the pork rinds that we got from that place. A little souvenir. That's torture. We can't save some of those for us, pal.
Gunn hit hard after a yard. Are you a fan of the coleslaw in your pork?
No, because I want to be able to control the portions. You don't want the coleslaw to overwhelm said pork. Now I did like the cracklins. They had those crackling pieces in the pork today, the chopped pork. Unbelievable. What a fantastic ad. And the cornbread, I thought I knew cornbread. No, I did not. I discovered it today.
Not until today. It's a new day for Matt Stinchcomb.
41, Marlon Gunn on the carry.
It really is. It's an amazing eating experience in these parts.
More Richardson on the stop. 3rd down and 7.
Gunn will check out of the game here on this 3rd and 7. 56 points in their last game. And certainly could put up many more if they wanted tonight. Already with 42 and 11 minutes to go. Hauser throws at the feet of Patterson. It is a catch. It is short of the first down.
He had to like that matchup. When he looked out there, he had C.J. Hurd matched up with Patterson, who's gotten multiple targets and catches on this drive alone. You can see ECU saying, hey, look, this is a go-for-it scenario, especially just where they are in the game circumstance. They're looking to just continue to bleed clock. You'll note they're not pushing the ball downfield as they were earlier aggressively.
And on 4th and 1, it's a first down.
21, Marlon Gunn on the carry for the Pirates.
Gunn, the junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's been the 3rd-team tailback most of the year, but there hasn't been much difference between Gunn, Montgomery, and Rajay Harris. All 3 of them have been effective carrying the football this season for East Carolina. And coming to this town certainly makes me think of the late, great Jeff Charles, who was the voice of East Carolina football for years. Hauser throws over the middle, incomplete. Jeff passed away in the last couple of years, and every time the Pirates would have a big win, he would say they are painting it purple. Here in Greenville, my friend Jim Zoki is now the voice at East Carolina. Came into our booth earlier today. Wish Zoke and everyone here at East Carolina Athletics well.
He's on his way to Munich?
Yes, he is. He's also part of the Carolina Panthers radio broadcast, and the Panthers are playing the New York Giants over in Munich this weekend. The last of the NFL international games this season.
Germany. Guter, Gleben, Glocken, Globen. They're just over there.
Have you heard them play Sweet Caroline or Country Roads in Munich, Germany? It's
they know all the words?
They do.
Huh. Do they know that they're referencing the western part of the state of Virginia and not the state of West Virginia? Are they familiar with that part? Too nuanced.
.937 left, and it's Patterson. Look at that speed. out of bounds inside the 10 as he takes a huge lick from Bugs Brown. 22 more for Patterson.
What's been his drive, hadn't it, for Patterson? This time getting it out of the backfield. Get him out on the perimeters, got a couple of targets. Made that big catch to get it to 4th and short. He's worn out over there. He'll probably want to get back into this drive, see if he can't finish it off in the end zone. It's been that kind of night for the Pirates offense.
Gunn to the 5.
Running gun on the carry. It's up 5 yards.
We're talking about the group of 5 and which team will represent this entire group of teams in the college football playoff. Boise State in the driver's seat if they win the rest of their games and win the Mountain West Championship. If they don't, Army might be next in line, or whoever wins the American Conference could be next in line to represent the group of 5 this year in that 12-team playoff. Gunn fighting near the 1, and the ball comes out, but it's recovered by East Carolina.
We covered it this game. We thought maybe that was an element that could assist this short-handed FAU defense was takeaways. Just has not really materialized. And that's one of the, when you get down the low red zone, it's when you start, not only it stops, of course, but can you rake that football out?
It was Javante Connor that recovered it. Zion Wilson's in now as a fullback for East Carolina. One of those big guys, 54 in front of Gunn, looking to throw to Gunn. Instead, the back of the end zone. Connor, touchdown. Hauser does have 5 incompletions, but this is about the equivalent of a perfect game.
Really is. It's been quite the spectacle. Doing an excellent job all night long. Decision making, managing the pocket, running the football.
You think of it, last time out against Temple, he threw for a career high 5 touchdowns, and he's done it again tonight.
They talked about playing free. Boy, they sure have. They've cut loose. Hauser's over there like, I don't know. I mean, load up the backfield. Everybody's thinking downhill run. Hauser says, no, let me see if I can squeeze in my 5th touchdown pass of the night.
We're about to put Alyssa Lang on the spot. Saturday, SEC on ABC College Football at noon. Florida takes on number 5 Texas. At 3:30, it's number 3 Georgia, number 16 Ole Miss. And at 7:30, it's number 15 LSU hosting number 11 Alabama in Death Valley. Streaming on ESPN Plus. There you see the best chance to reach the SEC championship game. Texas and Georgia, maybe we'll see a rematch from the game we had in Austin a few weeks ago. Alyssa, which road teams on ABC this Saturday are going to win?
Oh, I know Stinch was leaning Georgia as far as the safe pick earlier, but guys, safe pick. Yeah, Ole Miss's playoff hopes are completely on the line in this one. But guys, since 1970, when Alabama goes on the road to Death Valley, they're 21-5-1. That's an unbelievable stat in a stadium that is incredibly difficult to play in. So I kind of like the Tide.
Okay.
Yeah, so they got a real Tiger this time.
Am I thinking Tide and Dogs? Is she picking both of them on the road?
Sounded like it. Sounded like it.
We'll come back and get more predictions from Alyssa on the rest of the college football season next.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like, cloud nine. 2 words, cloud nine. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken, and it's got pickled jalapenos, and it's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
Real customers paid for their testimonials.
I think we need a bigger yard.
With our credit? This yard's fine. Go long.
Too long. But then I hear I found you.
Yeah. Look, Credit Karma can show us how to improve our credit for free. Then we can get a place with a bigger yard.
You hear that, Nora?
Yay.
From free credit scores to home loans and everything in between. Intuit Credit Karma. Download the app today.
Every quarter, East Carolina's lit it up. 49 points tonight. 6 different Pirates have scored touchdowns, which is nowhere close to what they did last week. They had 8 different players score in their last game.
A vast. Wow.
Xavier Terrell is in the backfield now for Florida Atlantic next to Kason Wiseman. And that's Terrell's first carry in over a month, and he certainly makes the most of it. Look at that guy fly out of the backfield. Terrell back in his home state of Wilmington, North Carolina.
How about that? Rip off a 30-yarder. Nice blocking up front. Nice finish to the end of that run. Guys are out there still working hard in a game that's long since been out of hand for them.
Just go down the East Coast a couple hours to Wilmington at the beach from here in Greenville, where Terrell is from. Wiseman will throw short. And a completion to Wyatt Sullivan for a few, the big sophomore tight end. Florida Atlantic fall to 2-7. This broadcast has been dominated by the word Owls tonight. Well, the Florida Atlantic Owls play the Temple Owls next week for hosting Charlotte and finishing the season against the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. On 2nd and 8, squeeze one in there. First down ball to Dominique Henry.
Lucky to hang on to that one, Henry. Great concentration. This was a near pick going the other direction. Instead, just enough zip on that ball from Weissman to get it all the way there into Henry.
Wiseman underneath the Tucker. He'll get a couple. Coach Herman was telling us about not only taking this job, and anytime you take a new job, you have to a degree, start a program over. But also, it should be mentioned that Florida Atlantic left Conference USA to come to the American Conference, and no disrespect meant whatsoever to the Conference USA. The American Conference has been the best group of 5 conference the last few years, and Conference USA, you could argue, could be at the bottom of those rankings. And as that ball is thrown into heavy traffic, Terrell unable to make the grab. So that requires a big commitment too when you're going to play tougher competition in conference on a weekly basis.
It's a more than fair observation. You know, you already had a challenge in your previous conference, much less making that jump up. Rebuilding a program, changing the culture as best you possibly can, while also transitioning to a more competitive conference.
On 3rd and 8, Wiseman able to get it off. He's been running all night, and he'll run this time for a first down.
And if you're on the FAU sidelines, right, you're kind of holding your breath as you see a little bit of extracurricular there at the end of the play. Lots of whistles. Because the last thing you want is to have yet another quarterback go down. As mentioned earlier, Fancher, the starting quarterback for FAU, left the game with a broken shoulder, was the report.
Wiseman has more completions, more attempts, and more rushing yards and more passing yards than he had all season in this game alone tonight. Drifts back, incomplete to Terrell. There's the starting quarterback, Cam Fancher, who injured his shoulder early in the game. Fancher 4 of 6 passing. 1 in the stadium last year playing for Marshall. Certainly a painful night for him and for his teammates. Sands leaves the backfield. Wiseman eludes the pressure and throws. Looks like George Johnson made that catch. Julian Davis was all over Wiseman in the backfield, and Wiseman was able to escape.
Well, Wiseman, he continues to impress. You go back to the interception, sure, but the way that he has battled in this game, out there directing traffic, not an easy throw to make. They're out there kind of sandlotting it, trying to extend this drive, and successfully does so.
Blitz. Wiseman just throws it out of the end zone. No receiver was in that area.
Just stared down the barrel that time. Knew he was going to get grilled and just burned that ball wisely. Versus taking the negative yardage play. And you see Wiseman once again, he left the game for a handful of snaps and fought his way back out onto the field in a very lopsided game, still trying to find a way to get his team in the end zone.
He is not going to be moving quickly tomorrow morning. On the roll, incomplete, throwing behind Tucker. More Pirate references for interim coach Blake Harrell in East Carolina. Look at what this guy has done as the head coach. 105 points scored, over 1,000 total yards gained. He's a defensive-minded guy, by the way. He's been a defensive coordinator here. Still the defensive coordinator the rest of the season, along with being the interim head coach. But he's made it clear, let it rip the rest of the way.
Yeah, I don't know if he's burned the boats. He's definitely burned the birds past 2 games.
See what you did there, yeah. 49-7. Halloween's not over. Is the AAC schedule this weekend. 3 of those games are right here on this channel. Rice and Memphis tomorrow night on ESPN2. Army and North Texas at 3:30, preceded by Navy and South Florida at noon Eastern. Temple is at Tulane as well. You see there on the schedule. That careful now if you're Army against North Texas.
Yeah.
You got the Irish in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium coming up. East Carolina putting away Florida Atlantic here on a 3rd and 10. It's Sands, tackled at the 10.
A couple of Owls in those matchups. A couple more Owls. The only other 2 Owls, we think. No, Kennesaw State. Oh, well done. Oh, man, if you're keeping scoring at home, maybe you don't give a hoot.
Wow.
Yep, just there. There's one other one. So there's 3 of the 4 Owls. 2 of which will be in the AAC. Coming up, then of course this one tonight, then Kennesaw State. Another set of Owls.
Fourth and 8 for Florida Atlantic, near the 2-minute timeout. Wiseman, man, this kid's got guts, doesn't he? Can he get the first down? Yes.
And wheels. Keep in mind, he left the game earlier with a lower body injury, was limping visibly earlier. Pressure comes right now. This is not by design, ended up breaking out.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Kid's just still out there fighting. Make it down to the 2-minute timeout. A fresh set of downs, a goal to go.
See if the Pirates can get in the end zone, or the Owls rather, when we come back. Sunday women's college basketball, 3 p.m. Eastern here on ESPN2. It's Gonzaga and Stanford on ESPN at 3. Number 9, NC State takes on number 1, South Carolina. The first game of the Allied tip-off in Charlotte, followed by Virginia Tech and Iowa on ESPN2. Let's congratulate our friend Alyssa Lang on receiving the Alumni Award at her alma mater, South Carolina, home of the best college basketball program in America. Did that last weekend at the football game as the Gamecocks beat the Aggies. We are proud of you, Langer.
You're too kind. I should have known that you'd find a way to embarrass me sometime tonight on the broadcast.
Embarrass you by honoring you?
I know. You guys are the best colleagues, the best friends. It was an honor, and you're not wrong about that, TZ. Reigning national champs. Can Dawn Staley go back-to-back and add another to the trophy cabinet?
What a dynasty they have down there in Columbia. Second and goal here for the Owls. Under 1:20 to go in the game. CJ Campbell back on the field trying to punch it in here with Wiseman, who's going to throw, and he's going to run for his life and throw it through the end zone. Pirates have been bringing pressure all night.
And Wyatt Sullivan's was wide open. They ran a little shallow cross, mesh concept where you've got these two guys just running across. Wyatt Sullivan was wide open, but by then Wiseman had to work to the right side of the formation. They're still battling, fighting, scratching, clawing to get into the end zone one more time.
Wiseman to Campbell, touchdown.
In a long night on a short week, and it seems like it might be meaningless. That touchdown's going to mean something to this program going forward.
How about this? 15 plays, taking over 6 minutes off of the clock and founding a way into the end zone when your whole body is in pain. In the case of Kason Wiseman, 81 yards in distance, resulting in a touchdown and gaining a ton of respect from his teammates as Morgan Suarez makes the extra point.
Oh, look at him. I mean, kid's in pain over there on the sideline. He fought his way to get in there. Kind of willed the team down the field. Campbell, who was a big contributor on the other touchdown drive for FAU, and in a season like this one, on a night like this, a late score that no one else is going to pay attention to actually matters. Will matter quite a bit to this program. We'll see how it's manifested. You know, they're at Temple on the 16th. And that's a team in the Temple Owls that have struggled, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Certainly struggled with this same ECU team that FAU's facing here tonight. And then, of course, Charlotte finishing the season at Tulsa.
And Mr. Herman's won everywhere he's been.
You guys talk about that fight, though, of Wiseman, and I can't help but think about it as I've watched him throughout the night. Cam Fancher's dealing with a fracture in that shoulder. Kason Wiseman may have just won the team over for the remainder of the season.
Certainly think so, Alyssa. We expect him to be the quarterback as long as he can play in these remaining 3 games. You see what's up tomorrow, Cal and Wake on ACC Network. Rice, the Owls, against Memphis.
Think about Rice. Temple's got a game coming up. FAU here tonight.
Raheem Jeter gets to finish the game for the Pirates at quarterback in victory formation. Jeter, the freshman from Spartanburg, South Carolina, onto the field in the best formation in football for the victorious team. Blake Harrell and the Pirates score 56 in his first game as interim head coach, 49 in game number 2, over 1,000 total yards of offense in those 2 games.
I mean, the remaining teams on ECU's schedule, they're going to have thalassophobia going forward.
There will not be a test later. There was a fear of Owls before the game. Now there is a fear of Pirates for the remainder of the season. Blake Harrell has East Carolina rolling as they knock off Tom Herman and Florida Atlantic 49-14. And some respect from both of those programs as Blake is with Alyssa.
Coach, you told us before this one you wanted to see the energy from the last game carry over. 49-14 win tonight. How did you see that carry over?
Yeah, I thought the kids came out and played with great effort, great energy. Obviously like to keep that last score off the board there, but just the way they're consistent throughout the day and playing for each other and playing for these seniors. You know, one win away from a bowl game, and we got to do that for these seniors, send them out the right way and go finish this thing off.
Another huge night for your quarterback, Caden Hauser. What has he done to continue to not only win over this team, but play the way that he's played?
Just everything we asked him. He plays with energy. He leads the football team, taking care of the football, and just going right down the field and putting points on the board. Just so proud of him.
You mentioned there's still work left to do, but can you speak to the way that you've breathed energy into this team along with this staff after a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's not about me. It's about these seniors and the way they're leading and the way they're doing things and the way they're going about their business. And I told them today, they remember November. We're in the 4th quarter of our season. How you finish November, you will always remember that. And these seniors doing a great job of that.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
581 total yards, a season high for East Carolina tonight.
Yeah, just remarkable, right? When you think a team might be collapsing, no, they've rebounded big time and in a big way, yet another big victory.
And back down to Alyssa.
Caden, you guys got a huge win over Temple 12 days ago. How did you continue that momentum into this win tonight?
Honestly, just keeping the energy and confidence going in from that last win, just carrying it over the next week, all the way throughout practice, keeping that same energy, going all the way out and bringing it to this game and putting up 49 points. It was a great win for us.
What does your process look like as you took over this starting role and you've gotten more and more comfortable as the weeks go on?
Just keep my head down and working. I know what I need to do coming out here and just focus on things I need to work on. Every single day coming in and out, working with these guys, just connecting and